So it's 11 o'clock, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the Commercial Underwriting Show. It's still got to get that logo changed, everyone, but it's the Commercial Underwriting Show because now we're starting to not only underwrite multifamily, but we're also starting to look at all other commercial products. So that's including industrial, retail, storage. We're starting to incorporate a lot of things. So so I know that there was a big mix up about matter of fact 2 weeks ago where I didn't show and no one registered, right? So listen, everyone, I got to take the blame for that because I think this every other week thing is is confusing a lot of people, and I don't want to do once a month. But I think that's just too far. It's it's just too far. So I'm gonna have to look at whether if I'm going to bring this back to uh once uh um to
Once a week.
once a week
Yeah.
because right now this is really crazy. This is really crazy. So um but hold on 1 second. Let me just think about let me do something right quick. I'm going to put this on pause. Hold on 1 second for me, everyone. All right, sorry about that, everyone. Uh, a call had came in from I forgot. Call had came in from the on-site person at the property. So anyway, what we were saying, what I was saying was this: there's I'm going to have to make a decision on either we do this once a week, every Tuesday at 11, or something. I don't, I think with us moving in a different direction, that the once a week may work. It could really work for us because now we're starting to get into so many different realms of of commercial underwriting. All right, and like I said, we're going to be, we're looking at industrial, we're looking at storage, we're looking at retail, we're looking at whatever it is, we're looking at mixed use, right? How many of us know how to underwrite mixed use? Where the retail, you got retail and apartments. How many of us know how to do that, right? So we need to get into that because if you notice, I noticed like here in Jersey, I'm starting to see mixed use where you got the retail spots on the bottom and the apartments up top. And if you come through the Mount Holly area here in Jersey, there's new apartments there, and you're going to see that they're mixed use. Okay, so so let's for 22 minutes because I think everyone has been here. This is this is not your first time. Faith, this is not your first time here, right?
Hey, not my first time, but first time in a long time.
Okay, sounds good. So you remember when we used to meet once a week?
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so I would like to hear from you, right? Would you prefer to go back to once a week or let it stay every other week? Tell me what you think, and don't be shy because I
I
can't
think
make.
that
Go
I
ahead.
think once a week is I think it may also depends based on what's going on in the country, right? I think um for me why I made sure to make sure I attend today is because things are moving very quickly. And I think it's good being able to communicate frequently so we can understand trends and kind
Mhm.
of consolidate what we're experiencing in our different geographic markets and our different deals so that we can be ahead of the headlines. So I think
Right.
that's the advantage to the like every week. But I don't know if there's a pattern where every 2 weeks seems to be more participation, then I think it's okay to be every other week. But I think also like right, we're in May, but it feels like it's been 12 months already.
Yeah.
Just like there's a lot changing and a lot going on. So there
Right.
could be
Right.
advantage.
Well, some Faith, I like what you said when you said there's a lot going on, and you mentioned about trends to see what the trends are doing in different markets. I totally agree with you because things are shifting, and I mean they're not shifting slowly. These things are shifting fast. Okay, so if things are shifting quickly, we need to really be up on it. Now, what does that mean? That means the commercial underwriting show. This may be another avenue where we may have to start bringing trends, because if you notice, what we mainly discuss here is what underwriting. We don't really get into so much of the trends and what's going on in the markets and stuff like that. But if that's going to help, then I'm willing to say, yo, we let's discuss this, right? What trends are going on, you know, and you know, what some of the software that I have, that wouldn't be a problem to bring graphs so that you can see what's going on in certain markets, right? Faith, what market are you in? I see you, Marcus. I see you.
So I'm in the DMV market, so that's Washington D.C., Northern
Yeah.
Virginia,
Okay.
suburbs of DC, and then I'm all the way up to the Baltimore, Greater Baltimore area.
Okay. Okay. So now I want to stick with you just for a minute, and then I'm gonna jump over to Marcus. But I would like to stick with you just for a minute.
Okay.
Um, what have you been seeing in the Baltimore area?
For I've been seeing a lot of new ground up construction, multifamily failing and going
Mm,
to bankruptcy. I've been seeing a couple of projects that were hotel to residential failing and going to foreclosure. I've seen an increase in demand for co-living housing. And I think that also increased like ever since COVID. More people moved away from sharing a bathroom to having their own bathroom and but not having their own quarters. As far as like single family residential in certain pockets of Baltimore City, there's still high demand. Baltimore City is very segregated. And then also in the suburbs of Baltimore, the traditional colonial single family house is still very much in demand, especially if it's 4 bedrooms or more.
mm,
So there's in the suburbs, it's under contract in 15 days for the brick front colonial single family property. So there's still people who are flipping properties and you know
right.
getting bang for their buck in the Baltimore suburbs and also in Prince George's County.
Okay. So so that's good to know. That's good to know. Although we don't mess with residential stuff, why is it good to know about what's going on with residential? Can someone tell me why? Don't be ashamed. Don't be afraid. This is a learning channel.
Or you can make money. Because you
Well,
can make money.
that's true. That's true. But it goes back to what Faith said earlier. Just think about what Faith said earlier. Trend. So if you see trends that's going on, all again, no, we don't focus on residential as for buying them. No, we don't. But if we see that there's a pocket where where the people are buying heavily residential and they're not really looking at the commercial products, then we know, yo, how long is it going to take to lease up a unit
Mhm.
that's in that particular area? Because if they're not buying, if they're not renting, and everyone in that area is like, yo, man, I could get a better deal buying a house, right? Then as an investor, you need to ask yourself, should I stay focused in this area, knowing that I can have a vacant unit that could sit there for at least 2, 3 months, a month, 2, 3 months? That's what you need to look at. Okay, that's just one of many. I'm.
Mhm.
It's just one of many. Okay, but that's just one of many things that you really need to look at. Okay, so now, so you may wind up having to shift your rents where you may have underwritten that you was going to raise the rents, but you may wind up finding yourself in a position where now you're competing with the residential side, and your rents are now having to come down
Mhm.
because you're trying to get people to come into your apartment and not rent, right?
Mhm.
So that's the reason why although yeah, we don't uh purchase residential, but to know what's going on is excellent. Hold on, Mr. Jarman. I got to come to Marcus first because had Marcus had his hand up. Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, first, good morning, Dallas. Pleasure
Good
seeing you.
morning. And
Yes,
Marcus,
absolutely.
I, I gotta listen. I gotta apologize to you because my Calendly link is not working. I guess you probably figured that one out.
Yes, I did.
Oh my gosh, man! But but I'll get it back up and running. But so
Okay.
if you need to talk with me,
I'll
just
just
shoot me a
text you.
text or something. Yeah, just shoot
Yeah.
me a
Okay.
text. All
All
right.
right.
But go ahead and what you
Good.
was gonna say.
Well, I was going to say when you asked about going back weekly, I think absolutely the weekly meetings was so informational as far as information, learning, collaboration, and getting to know people. Just every 2 weeks, it's like the young lady Faith said, feel like you're out of touch. And it feel
Yeah.
like I haven't seen you forever. And yes, things are moving fast. And I think as we go and we'll be able to collaborate and learn from each other, we can move forward on deals
Correct.
and learning stuff over there. So I highly, highly support this every week and stuff on there. And I think as we go along, people start realizing the word that Dow Murphy is back on the line and back on the air. You'll start seeing the numbers of people coming more and more and stuff because you had a very big following and stuff and all that. And then it went to every 2 weeks. It really felt like we
Yeah.
were there when it every two
Yeah.
weeks and stuff over there. So I support you and applaud, and I hope the group will agree. We'll go meeting up every week because it was very beneficial and educational. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you what for those who had came in a little late, what made me think about this here, going back to weekly, I missed one of my own meetings. I missed one of my own meetings. And when it dawned on me that it was a week to meet, I was like, holy smoke, I just missed one of my own meetings. I said, no, something got to be done. Because that, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I've never missed a meeting. Never. So once that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to once a week and let's talk about it. And I think one person actually came, and I didn't realize it until I think it was like after 1 o'clock, and I'm looking at the emails, and I saw it said so and so joined commercial multifamily mastermind. I'm like, and I did like, and I did like just I missed my own meeting. I said, holy smoke. So yeah, let's get back. Let's get back. Okay, so we got two people that said yes. Mr. Jarman, let me hear from you. What's your
Yeah,
thoughts
good morning.
on
Good
coming
morning,
back
Daryl.
weekly or every other week? What's your thoughts? Help me out.
Yeah, good morning, Murphy. How's
Good
everybody
morning.
doing?
All
Yeah,
right.
two things real quick here. Faith, uh, to you. Baltimore right now is a rental market. It's a rental market. A lot of money is going, particularly from the housing department. A lot of money is going into Baltimore for single family homes. And then, like Marcus was saying, was that yeah, uh, originally the way you started out, it was much more informative and much more fun and much more collaborative. But where I am right now, here's where I am right now. Where I am right now, I'm beginning to focus on what I need to move forward. What I mean by that is that in regards to your show here is that what are the main focus that you can originally you had a main focus. Originally you had a main focus and we knew that if we wanted to learn this, this is where we came, right? Underwriting. I'm talking about underwriting. So we knew that if I had a problem in underwriting, we could talk about this and that and the other. Once a week is cool, but the thing I'm getting to is that I'm beginning to focus more on specifics that I need for me personally. So what do commercial multifamily mastermind, what is the main purpose of your organization?
All right. So let's discuss this, right? Because you never said you spoke in a general way. So I'm gonna try. I want to narrow this down. I want to get to the nitty gritty, right? You said I got to look at what 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 is for me. So what is for you? Tell me what's for you.
Oh, you asked me that question? Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
because you kept
Okay,
saying you said about four times. So
yeah,
to
yeah,
me,
cool,
okay,
cool,
so
cool.
so if Mr. Jarman is underwriting, if Mr. Jarman is looking at commercial, at this point we've already set the stage to where we're going to be underwriting not just multifamily. We're going to be underwriting industrial, retail. We're going to be underwriting different things as they come up, right? So if Mr. Jarman is saying, well, listen, Daryl, hey, yeah, man, once a week is good for you. I got to look at what's important for me. Okay, then it's cool, Mr. Jarman, and I understand that. But what is it that's important to you?
Okay, good question. Very good question. Specifically for me is the underwriting part. However, uh, is that consensus to everybody else? You see what I'm saying? I'm saying that if the majority say that warehousing is my main thrust, and then we know where to come to for warehouse. For me, it's underwriting multi units. That's for me. Not so much multi unit. Excuse me. Commercial. We talking about MPH, mobile home parks. We talking about apartments and things like that. Underwriting my thing because that's my weak area. That's my weak area right there. But what I'm saying is that as a group right here, as a group of people that you're trying to attract, what would what they looking for? Follow what I'm saying? And then they
Mhm.
know where to come to for what they specifically want. Not just me, but Marcus may Robert may be looking strictly at our financing. You know what I'm saying? So he will go to a place that deals with DSCR and this and that and the other. So that's what I'm saying. What do the group want? What is Dara trying to push? And then what Dara is trying to push, and then people will come to you for that.
Okay. So so first, let me just say this, everyone, because this is important. And just like Mr. Drummond said, yo, you know, we can't have a lot of ruckus. He didn't say ruckus, but I'm saying ruckus, right? What is the ruckus? The ruckus is, well, this, we're looking at this, we're looking at that, we're looking at this, we're looking at that, we're looking at this, right? That's ruckus. All right. That's ruckus. What I'm looking at and trying to educate others on is underwriting. Underwriting. Now, why did if y'all recall, and some of you may have forgotten, I'm not giving up commercial multifamily, not by a long shot. But what I am doing is broadening the horizon. Why? As Faith said, things are changing fast. Even Faith said in her area, bankruptcies on commercial, it is commercial deals, right? Faith, you said bankruptcies on commercial deals. Alicia, my co-host, she's a broker, and she's even seeing foreclosures on commercial deals. She had a list of foreclosures. So I already know that something is going on in the market. Something. I don't know what it is, but something's going on. Trump trying to push interest rates down. I don't care how you feel about the guy. I'm just talking about interest rates. That's all I'm talking about. Okay. So he's trying to bring the interest rates down. And if we bring the interest rates down, what will that, how can that benefit us as investors? Right? I don't care how you feel about them personally. That's not what the show is about. We are investors. How is that bringing those interest rates down? How is that going to benefit us?
Activity. If I can add in,
Jump
Daryl.
in. Go ahead, jump in.
Yeah. First of all, great to be back on this show, right? And seeing a lot of familiar faces when we were all on this each week. So, and to answer your question about the weekly versus biweekly, I like the weekly meeting every week. I like that you're changing the focus, not just on, because you're kind of pigeonholed, right, into just commercial multifamily. Now you're doing the other asset types. Um, I'm working on with some investors right now, my clients that are looking at retail, like a 12 or 13 unit small strip mall shopping center. So, we're financing those type of products. I'm doing a ground up construction down south, all the way down in Tennessee, for a first time investor from here in Jersey looking to relocate with his wife down in Tennessee. So these because people want to go to where it's more affordable. They want to build and he's actually looking to build a brand new duplex that I'm doing the financing for. So you're looking at all these different asset types, which is great because, multifamily might not be where it's at right now, like it was back then. So you look at these other assets, retail, mixed use is great. If you can get a good location for mixed use, apartments upstairs, retail downstairs. So all these other different asset types are great. And I can definitely put in my information, what I know, how to get these things financing, or, I might not be the expert at the underwriting part of it, but I can run the numbers and do, contribute to your show on the acquisition of properties, at least price them out, get a term sheet, or, just look at the numbers. So I can add that to these different types of assets that people are going to be talking about to try to acquire. So that's what I kind of like. And it makes sense meeting every week. Once a week is nice. You're not overdoing it and it's not too much spaced out twice a month. So
Correct. I like what you said. That's definitely that's definitely excellent. Now, with everything that's going on in the market, what have uh what have you been seeing on the finance side?
So for me, the investors that I've been working with, they're, some are very hesitant. They see interest rates. You got to figure on your personal home, primary home, you're looking at about 6.5, 6.6. You got to realize you're not going to get that interest rate on a investment property. It might be close to it, depending on everyone's circumstances different. Your experience level, my lenders like to look at not just your credit. They want to see, have you done a deal, or do you currently own a rental property right now? That's not even counting ground up construction. Ground up construction, that's a whole nother animal, because they want to see, have you done a ground up construction, not just your general contractor. That helps, having a licensed GC. That, a lot of these GCs have done 50 to 100 deals, so they have the experience, but they're not the ones signing and personally guaranteeing the loan, right? So the lender always comes back to the investor, but that's on ground up. But just for acquisition of, say, 1 to 4 single family, 1 to 4 mixed use, things like that, lenders want to talk about your experience level. Your how's your credit? How does your credit factor into this? How's your FICO scores? Things like that. And then how's your liquidity? That's always one of the biggest hurdles. They want to see you have money that you can show in the bank account, or whatever, stocks, whatever your accounts are. You can bring that, could be 10, 20% to the table to get to the closing table on your deals. And then, of course, they're going to value the strength of your property, cash flow, the normal. If it's DSCR, cash flow versus what's this mortgage or loan going to be over 30 years. So cash flow and a DSCR route. But liquidity is big, and they want to see, you have money ready to come to the table, and you can get to the closing table with maybe their 80%, 85, 90% LTV and make it happen. So
Right.
that's it.
Well, thank you. That's excellent. See, and that's information that we need here in the channel here. So I appreciate that. That is excellent information. Excellent information. So so let me jump over to Mr. John Church. John, let me hear from you. How do you feel about this thing here with the meetings once a week or every other week or whatever?
I think the meetings once a week will be still great. Uh, I think it gives everyone a chance to think about diversifying instead of saying just concentrate on just one area, which is the commercial multifamily. So, and then I think, we're all creatures of habit. So we just keep, going over the same thing. So to have something different, to write other assets up, like your strip malls and new construction and so forth. I think it helps us all to sharpen our mind to, because they're not all the same. So you have to tweak something here and there. So it just keeps everybody alert and to get the help from here and everything. Because when you have your lenders, as like Robert here, and with your experience, it helps us, to cut down on some of the mistakes. I mean, you got to take a risk. I understand that, but to try to limit those to a minimum as much as possible, I think is great. So just to have a different variety of ways to invest could probably even bring even more people to your page here when they say, man, this is wide open. They might want to do just business or even do the commercial family when it's the multifamily when it's available. That way you're just not sitting waiting for a multifamily deal, but you can still say, okay, I can maybe make an investment in here until it's the right time to get the large apartment buildings when they're available if the numbers and everything are correct.
Gotcha. 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 So it sounds like to me that this every other week thing wasn't working out. Is it? It was good to test the waters, but I do agree that yeah, we're gonna have to go back to once a week because this every other week thing. I thought for I don't know. I thought maybe people were getting bored with meeting every week. So we were doing it. We were. It was like a redundant thing, right? We was underwriting, 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 underwriting. So I was like, we could do this every other week. But then, people would email me, "Hey, are we meeting this Tuesday?" I said, "No, we're meeting next Tuesday," right? So, oh, okay, okay. And then when that meeting day come, they were, "Oh man, I forgot because I thought we were going." And I said, "Oh boy, So, and then what really topped it off was I forgot my own meeting. Now, that was bad, right? I forgot my own meeting. So I said, "Yo, yeah, I'm going crazy." So, but yes. So, uh, first of all, I want to thank everyone for their input, and I also would like to welcome Miss Jackson and Mr. Saderback to the Commercial Underwriting Show. And today, what we're just talking about shifting our focus back to either once a week because uh, what I thought was working out, it wasn't, which we were meeting every other week. Now, are we still underwriting? Yes. I want to make that. I want to make sure that's very clear to everyone. I'm an underwriter. That's what I do. That's you know that's what I love. I love underwriting. So I'm not that is not going to stop. That's going to continue. But what's going to also start happening is we're going to now start learning how to underwrite other commercial assets. That's what we're going to start discussing. How could we underwrite a mobile home? Can it be underwritten? How can we write an industrial? Can it be underwritten? Of course, we know that right? But I'm just saying, right? You got retail, right? You got office, right? I know a lot of people not looking at office. Office is in it's been in a bad situation for several years, right? But there may be someone who could get an office and could convert it to something else. Could we underwrite that, right? So the focus of underwriting is going to change. And next Tuesday, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm telling you now, we're underwriting a commercial multifamily deal. Okay. So next Tuesday, we will be underwriting a commercial multifamily deal. All right. Um, if you if you see something that's going on in your market, because I can't focus on every single market. There's no way in the world I could focus on every single market in the United States of America. But if you see something that's crucial that's happening in your market, say, on that Tuesday, Daryl, all you gotta do is raise your hand, right? Daryl, I would like to just let some information out about something that's happening here in the market of wherever it is. Okay, wherever it is. I was looking at it was on Bing. I don't know if y'all familiar with the Bing browser where they give out news. It's news there, right? So they were saying in right now with the market shifting so much that if there's a serious hit of depression in our market, there are 10 states that's going to crumble. 10. Now, again, that's according to Bing News, which I think is powered by MSN. I didn't listen to all of them. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I didn't listen to all 10. What I think I listened to maybe about 5, and there were certain states that was up there. Mississippi was one, Alaska was another. I don't know who invested in Alaska, to be honest with you, but Alaska was one, Mississippi was one, Michigan was another one. Um, uh, did they mention Chicago? No, that's Illinois. Um, I don't remember, but there were 10 states that they said that if we went into an economical problem in the United States, those 10 states will fall. They will crumble. Now I don't know how true that is, but that's something that could definitely, whether if it's that, whether if it's those states or the states that you're in right now, who's going to know better to how a market is doing than you when you live in that state, in that market. Now I'm gonna get granular, right? In that market, in that city, in that town, in that zip code. No one knows better than you. You can't tell me nothing about 08015 because I live here. And you can't tell me nothing about 77535 because I'm there every day. Now, when I say I'm there, I'm not physically there every day, but every single day, all day, I'm studying and I'm on that market. Why? Because my property is there. And I have to know what's going on in Dayton, Texas. 77535 is Dayton, Texas. I have to know what's going on, right? I got to make sure that my property stay 100% full. Right now, we're 100% full, right? Right now, 100% full. And so everywhere you go, anywhere you are right now, whether if it's, I'm just going to call out these colors. I know it don't really mean much, but whether it's a blue state or red state, you need to know what's going on in your state, especially if you're looking at investing in your state. At one point, I wasn't thinking about investing in the state of New Jersey. I wasn't. But now I'm going to be a little specific. I wasn't thinking about no commercial multifamily in the state of New Jersey. You can forget about it. I was not looking at nothing in the state of New Jersey. But I will take a look at other commercial assets in the state of New Jersey, like industrial, retail. I will take a look at those. So Marcus, you and I are in the state of New Jersey. Oh, and John Church. John Church is in the state of New Jersey. And John is in an area, I believe that's on the move of shifting and coming up. I'm starting to hear some scuttlebutt about Camden. So that may be an area that we could look at for the retail side, the industrial side, something like that. All right. Miss Jackson, where are you located?
Los Angeles.
So Los Angeles, okay. Okay. Your name is familiar.
Yeah, I've been on this Tuesday call in the past. Many
Okay.
times at least. I
All
just
right.
haven't been as available, but now that my schedule's shifting back, I'm
Right.
coming back into the space.
Right. Okay. Are you a KW?
I'm not with KW anymore. I used to be. Now I'm with Equity Union.
Okay, I knew your name sound familiar. Yeah, I remember you used to be with KW. Okay, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, all right, but listen, everyone. I'm going to wrap up 15 minutes early, and with all the feedback that I have received, we're moving back to once a week. Once a week. Every
Appreciate
Tuesday,
that, Darryl. Appreciate
11
that.
o'clock, we're coming back. And when we come back, listen, everyone, when we come back, let's come back with a vengeance. Let's bring some deals. Now I'm gonna bring a deal next Tuesday that we are going to walk through and underwrite. Let's get back on the grind because we've been, I think, with this every other Tuesday thing. I think we sort of maybe you would say we didn't, but I think we sort of lost track. I think we sort of lost the path a little bit. So now let's get back on the path. Mr. Jarman, we're here to help each other, right? We're here to help each other with whatever your goals are. If you have questions about underwriting, if you anything about underwriting, we're here to help you. And I'm saying that, of course, that's how we have to get things done. We got to work together. And I appreciate all your support. You know, the commercial multifamily masterminds have been on par for how long? We're not new. We've been around for a long time doing underwriting, right? Now, how could I have really thought that we were going to shift from a once a week to every other week and still try to stay on par? That was, I think, so many people just got confused, and I think that's why the show lost uh, interest. People lost interest because it wasn't consistent. Now it's like, well, are we meeting? And some were forgetting, and you know, and anytime the host forget, that's pretty bad. So you know what I mean? So yeah. So for now, yeah, we're going back to our regularly scheduled program every Tuesday, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I want to thank you all for hanging in there with me. And because listen, we've been through this. Each and every one of you here, you've been with me ride or die. You know what I'm saying? You have really showed loyalty here and commitment. And so I'm not going to ever turn my back on either one of you because you didn't turn your back on me. Right? So, but I'm going to, hey, Moses, how you doing, man? Oh, I think Moses is driving. You keep your hand on the
I'm
steering
doing
wheel.
good. I'm driving, but doing all right.
All right, that's fantastic. So, just to recap, and then I'm gonna let everyone go. We're moving back to once a week, starting immediately next Tuesday. We will be meeting at 11 o'clock. Pass the word around. The invitations will go back out for every week. Okay, there'll be some meetings that we will have a guest speaker, and then there'll be some where we will not have guest speakers. We will be doing physical work of underwriting properties. If you have a property and you need help with it, if you recall, I said way back then, bring the deal here. We will help you underwrite the deal. Okay. If you see that it is a good deal, we will, listen, let's get together. Let's help each other take that deal down. Okay. If you have a niche in creative financing, I would like to have you as a guest speaker because I'm starting to hear others using creative financing on a lot of these commercial deals because they cannot, with the interest rates the way that they are, the deals are falling through. So they're having to use creative financing. Now, this may not work on a 200, 300, 400 unit property, but it can work on properties that are smaller, properties where we could get in contact directly to the owner. Okay. So that's something right there. So if you are a person that is really good with creative financing, I would like to have you as a guest on the Commercial Underwriting Show. And let's discuss that. All right. Because that may be, although it has been out for decades and decades, I already know creative finance has been out for a long time. But with the market the way it is now, that may be something else that we could use and as a tool to acquire that asset. Okay. All right. So does anyone have anything to say before we depart until next Tuesday? Anything?
Dow, this was a pleasure. I thank you. Thank you very much. And I thank you for us going back to the format every week. I think we can accomplish some good things for the rest of this year. And like you said, it's not about the politics because the election is done. It's over with. The person
Yeah.
is in office the next 4 years. So regardless what your politics are, we need to know we need to navigate this politics so we can make money and be able to take care of our families going forward in this administration. This is the one we
Correct.
have to deal with. So let's, like you said, put politics aside because you can go and throw your arms and still complain, but it is what it is. So let's look forward to make some money together.
There it is.
And
Yeah.
Marcus, the only way we can do that is by letting Daryl be the leader and come to his group. We got to work together.
Amen on
But
that one, Mr. Jarvis. Amen. It's a pleasure. It's
well,
always a pleasure seeing you, Mr. Jarvis.
Thank
listen,
you, sir.
there's believe it or not, there's other people in this room that are smarter than me. So so don't some of you gonna be taking the lead. I'm gonna learn from you. So, but again, so yeah, so every Tuesday from now on, we back to every Tuesday, 11 o'clock. Next Tuesday, we will be underwriting a deal. I will have the deal, the property ready, and you know how we always do. If the underwrite shows some sort that we think that this is something that we could really go after, then let's try to go after it. And if all of us come together, we could, we could really work and take that property down. All right.
Hey,
So
Daryl, Marcus, I just want to say I'm happy that you're doing the weekly. I know it's much more work, but I think take it from this perspective. There are many times where we all know all of our stuff, but I think constant reminder reminds us of the things that we forget to use. And I think that's the benefit of constantly reiterating stuff and sharing ideas because it reminds you of things that you should be doing and you're not doing because you just kind of got on the wayside, because you haven't been using it. So what was the famous iron sharpens iron? So
yeah,
uh,
Moses, I appreciate that, and I'm gonna tell you, everyone, what Moses just said is 100% true. Because not underwriting like as often as I was, you know, I'm I don't get me wrong now. I can still underwrite. But yeah, but to be honest, yeah. Just not doing it as often as I have. It's like, okay, let me go pull out this, let me do that, let me, get back on track with this, that, and the other. And so yeah, I totally agree. So next Tuesday, everyone, I'll see everyone back here. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for your support. We're underwriting next week. Take it easy, everyone.
All right, guys, take care.